I'd like to welcome you to Yin Yoga class this evening. It's going to be mind and body awareness today. But there's one thing that I wanted to thank you all out there for, first of all, and that is that we have, after 2 weeks, come to 100 subscribers. So I will be, from next week, releasing some meditations online as well. And each day we're going to have shorts on different positions as well. So just a little bit of technical advice and just have some fun with the body. So for those of you that don't know me, for many years ago I was very physically handicapped, and today I'm a yoga teacher. So that's why I say anything and everything is possible. It's just to take that time and that patience with yourself, so that you can create enormous changes in the body and the mind. So, and to add complication to the matter, 18 months ago I fell off a ladder 6 meters up and almost killed myself. Smashed my skull, I broke my nose and my shoulder, and my knee is still not good. So part of this journey, to be honest, is me coming back to being a yoga teacher. I mean, I've been practicing yoga for 35 years. So I'm not used to being stiff and not having things working. So it's a little bit like learning to use my body again. So this is one of the reasons that I'm sort of going online and saying, this is really for everybody, and everybody is welcome. Last thing I say before we start the class is that a little tip is to just do 100% of what you can in all of the positions, whichever type of yoga it is. What's important with that, and to think about it, is that if you do that, then you're doing 100% yoga. It's not about doing perfect yoga positions. It's not about that, I promise you. It's about how this feels for you while you're doing it and then afterwards. And that's really all that matters. So with that said, we're going to start. And I'd like you to sit comfortably on the mat. As I said many times before, you can use a cushion. You can place that under the base of the spine. This helps the back to relax, and then you can sit into the pelvis in a way that is comfortable. The shoulders can be relaxed. Good, so gently closing the eyes when you're ready. And just settle into the body. So you feel the body sitting on the floor. And feel how the floor is supporting you simply because you are sitting there. This, of course, comes from the earth beneath us, gravity. It's holding everything. The floor, you, your heart, your brain, your body, the building. Or if you're sitting on a beach, the sand and the sea. It is a powerful and beautiful energy that allows us to relax. And in Yin Yoga, it's very important that we dial into this energy and just allow now becoming aware of your breath, how your body is moving. Try not to control the breath here, just allow the body to breathe completely by itself. And just watch this process. In fact, in Yin Yoga, the less we do and the less we think, the more we experience. For example, right now you can probably feel, if you focus on it, that the air is cold as it comes in to the body and warm as it leaves the body. Allow the body to breathe silently, as if you were asleep. now coming up to the mind. And again this week I want you to look beyond your thoughts. Imagine the mind as a space that your thoughts travel through. They usually come one at a time. And sometimes there are so many thoughts that it feels like they're constant. But as we slow down and start to watch, we notice that they're simply passing through. So allow them to pass without judgment, right or wrong. Thoughts will be there, always. Focus on the space of your mind and understand that in the center of this space, that is the place of your soul. It is a place without judgment. It is a place of caring, love, patience, compassion, and understanding. A place we can return to whenever we wish. And then, when you are ready, slowly and gently opening the eyes. Welcome. Good. So we're going to start today at the back of the mat. So we're going to come onto the knees. And today I'd like to encourage you to use a cushion or bolster if you have one. These sort of long cushions, you can basically buy them almost anywhere now. But anyway, we're just going to put those between your knees, so you can move out the knees to the sides of the mat if you wish to. And just bring it a little bit so that it's just in front of your knees basically, so that the chin can come past the end of the cushion basically. You can of course adjust that once we have come forward. This also helps to be able to sit comfortably onto the knees without it having a lot of stress in the ankles or in the knees. If that is happening still for you, then I encourage you to maybe place a cushion, for example, between the legs. This will also help. Remember, always as comfortable as you can possibly be. Good. So we're gently going to come forward with the body now, and we bring the chest down onto the cushion and the elbows. We relax in the hips and the lower back, and we're just going to bring the head down to the mat, or just hanging the chin over the end of your cushion. Eventually the forehead and the nose will be on the mat, and we want to be nice and relaxed in the shoulders here, so the arms are just simply resting on the floor. The hands are relaxed, the fingers, toes and the ankles. And still aware of this conscious breath. And I don't mean an active breath, I just mean conscious of the breath. You're still feeling how the body expands and contracts as the body breathes. For those of you that are new to Yin Yoga, it is a practice where we stay in positions between 3 and 5 minutes, and most of the positions today we're going to stay in for approximately 3 minutes. And this allows us to have the time to actually feel and understand what is going on in the body. Some of you might be experiencing that you're very stiff, in which case you can come up, just rest on your hands, with the arms straight, and just allow the weight of the body, just to allow the head to come down, the chin to the chest. Just basically coming to where you are comfortable. And eventually, of course, you will come all the way down to the mat. We have approximately about another 15 seconds in this position. Just relaxing the shoulders just a little bit more, the lower back, the hips. If you feel tension in the body, just to allow it to be there. We're now going to bring the hands back to your knees. And here we can use the arms if you wish to, and just gently come out of the position. Good. What I'm going to do now is to just remove the cushion from between the legs. Just place it onto one side. And here we can bring the knees together in the center. And we're going to come forward with the body and place the hands under the shoulders. Now, again, we're going to bring the knees out to the sides of the mat. So, again, if you're uncomfortable in the knees, of course, you can always have a cushion under the knee. All of these positions, they just simply get easier with the practice. We're going to lift the right arm forward out over the mat. So don't place the hand on the mat just reach out with the right arm to your, basically to where the hand says, okay, that's stop. And then just place the hand onto the mat. This gives you a perfect position from the shoulder to your wrists, and it's unique to everybody. That's why I encourage people to do this in this way. If they can inhale and exhale, you're just going to press back with the hips. And today I want you to keep the arms straight. So just relaxing the elbows. And again, we bring the forehead and the nose to the mat. Now, for those of you that are new, if this is very uncomfortable in the shoulders, which it can be in the beginning, you can just bring the hands a little bit closer, place the elbows onto the floor, and then bring the hands in towards the center. This just relaxes the shoulders just a little bit more. And if you are more advanced, you can actually just try that and just feel the difference in the shoulders from having the hands in, for example, this position, center, lower arms and elbows on the mat, or having the arms just out, and just feel the difference. It is just simply conscious awareness of your body and how it affects the mind. I've been practicing Yin Yoga for many, many years. And one of the advantages of it is that it slows the mind down. You remember I was saying that the thoughts are traveling through the space of your mind. Often they're quite quick and come a lot at the same time, depending on what we're doing. When I say at the same time, I just mean in quick succession to each other. What we do in Yin Yoga is just allow that process to be a little less important. So if you find yourself focusing on your thoughts, again go back to the space of your mind and just try and expand this space until the thoughts just become a little less important. Good. So we're going to bring the hands back to the knees. And we're going to again use the arms if you wish to, and just come gently up. And place the knees together in the center. Good. So we're going to now change to a sitting position. So we're going to come down onto the mat. It doesn't really matter how you do this. And we're going to come into a position which is called easy lotus. So for those of you on camera here, I just want you to bring the heel of the left foot into the center of the groin. The left knee is going to be approximately 45 degrees out. And then we're going to bring the right heel in a straight line with the left heel. Easy lotus. Okay, so we're not trying to bring one foot up on the other, we're just sitting in this position. And for those of you that might have discomfort in the hips, for example, we can always have a cushion under the knee, we can have them both sides. It depends exactly on how your body is right now. And that's the only thing that's important. How are you feeling right now? Now I can say that the position that we're going to do a little bit later is also, for me at the moment, after my accident, still quite difficult. So when we get there, I'll explain how I'm thinking. But right now, just making sure that you're comfortable. And here we're just going to come forward with the body. And here, again, if you wish to, you can have a cushion that you just lean down onto and just place the hands onto the mat. And just feel that you have this support. And wherever you need the support, just place cushions or whatever else you have, maybe a blanket or something like that. If you don't want to use the cushion, you can just simply come down to the elbows in front and then just drop the head. I think I said this last week, but I'm going to say it again anyway. Like I said, when I started doing yoga, I was extremely physically handicapped. And basically I just had to practice each position and just improve each position with maybe 1 millimeter a week. And as I said, I think on YouTube today, it took me 10 years just to reach my toes. So there's no hurry here, it's just to do what your body can do. And these kind of positions were basically impossible for me in the beginning. But it's just to do what you can do. And each time you do that, it just improves without you even having to try. And that's the key here, is not to push, not to try, just to be exactly as you are. If, of course, you are more flexible, you can come all the way down and bring the forehead and nose to the mat. What can be very useful is just occasionally, and only if you wish to, but just occasionally, just take a deep breath in and feel how the body sort of lifts away from the floor. And then as you exhale, do this slowly and just feel how the body actually sinks deeper into the position or down into the floor or even more towards the earth beneath you. And it doesn't have to be centimeters, it's just the awareness that when we breathe, we can relax. I think last week I said that you can help yourself as well by, for example, each time you exhale, you think to yourself, relax, relax. I was actually talking to a student a little earlier today, and she said to me that she's generally always saying to herself, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay to be how I am. It's okay to really just focus on that and allow herself to be exactly how she is. And that's beautiful just in itself. Good, so we come up. You can use the hands again if you wish. And we're going to change sides. So now we bring the right heel into the center and we have the left heel in the center out to the side. Good. Come down again to your position, either on the cushion or the hands or the elbows. Maybe drop the head and maybe you can come all the way down or maybe you can't. At the moment this position is a little difficult for me, so I just come to where I feel that it's comfortable. I just drop the head and then I breathe and watch. So we're not trying to injure the body here or damage the body in any way. We're not sort of ripping into the muscles and trying stretching them so they become even longer. And this is really just, in my opinion, a waste of time, because what it does is it just encourages your body to fight against what you're trying to achieve, which is just to relax. And just becoming a little bit more comfortable in your body every day is a gift that you can give to yourself. So again, we sort of relax the hips, we relax the spine and the back, maybe the knees just a little bit more. We take a deep breath again if you wish to. And exhale and just feel how the body even sinks just that little bit deeper into the position. Listening to the sounds that surround you. Maybe you're out in nature or even at home, maybe in the garden. Last week I had a person who was sitting on their balcony in the sunshine, looking over the beach. Just be aware of your surroundings and knowing that you're part of this space that you are in. You're not separate from the space. You are simply part of that space. Good. We bring the hands back to the knees. Again, we gently come up out of the position. Good. So we're going to try another stretch today. And this is a position that I wanted to show you for myself. It's a position really, it's called sort of half butterfly, if you like. But what we're trying to do is to just soften up the hip and the knees and the ankles and just sort of relax down into the position. And for most of you, if you're looking at me right now, you're going to see that for me, the left side is still quite stiff from the accident. Like I said, I went through several surgeries after the accident I had. And this is one of the things that I'm working with. So it's just an opportunity to show you what I mean by that. So for this position, I'm going to place the long cushion under my left knee. And I'm going to place the foot in a position where I can get the forehead down onto the heel. Now that might not happen for me on the left side here, but that's basically what we're going to aim for. And the right heel is still in the center of the groin here. Have the buttocks on the mat. And I'm just going to bring the hands forward to the left foot. Now I have this support on the left side, so I'm not going to injure my knee here or over twist anything. And I'm just going to allow myself to come forward into this position where I feel this stretch. And it's an absolutely magnificent stretch. And you're probably feeling it right now, so if you are, I encourage you to have a smile on your lips. It helps. Okay, and then just be patient and watch, breathe. It's quite interesting because if we watch carefully enough, you'll notice more and more that the body actually naturally relaxes when we breathe. And we sort of see yoga, a lot of people see yoga as sort of trying to stretch out the body and push the body to do things that it doesn't want to do. And that's just not what yoga is about. Yoga is about relaxing. So that's the way I teach, to relax into a position. And even if I have problems on the left side here at the moment, I know that with patience, that will disappear by itself. So I don't have to push it, I don't have to do anything else than exactly what I can do right now. So why I say that my channel basically is all about teaching yoga in a way that is simple. It's simple positions. Of course, I can do complicated things with my body, but that's not really the point. And there are hundreds of teachers out there doing that, so it's not something that I'm particularly interested in. And when I started yoga, I was very physically handicapped, like I said, so I had to do everything slowly and with patience and understanding. And I know beyond probably most of the people that are watching this channel how that affects the body. I basically changed from being an invalid to jumping out of planes with parachutes and jumping off bridges and bungee jumping and all sorts of wonderful things. I just got my life back because of yoga. And that's what I want to share with you. It's not about sort of learning to twist your body into some kind of weird pretzel position, or even standing on your head and doing all sorts of things. Of course they are possible, but the idea is to be able to do that with comfort, with technique, and to be able to relax. And that is the whole point of this. Good, so we're going to gently come out of this position. And hopefully in some way when you're in the positions and I'm talking, maybe showing your mind that there's other things to think about, that it kind of distracts you a little bit from what you're doing. And this I've talked about before, and I talked about it last week. If you focus on the discomfort that you're feeling, then that's what you're going to experience. And the brain is quite clever like that. It generally focuses what you're thinking, basically. And as I said last week, you can have a pink elephant jumping across the floor. Of course, pink elephants don't exist, but we still see them in our head. And it's no less real for the mind than if I say, think about a beautiful red rose and how it smells. Immediately you have the picture in your mind. Okay, so when we're doing yoga, we want to actually sort of just think about everything else and not the discomfort. All right, I'm not saying you're going to have discomfort in positions. Maybe some of you are really flexible and don't feel anything at all. Wonderful, that's fantastic. So now we're going to change sides. So I'm going to bring my left heel into the center. I'm going to bring my right heel forward, and on my right side of my body, I don't have any problem. I actually fell onto the left side of my body, and I did all kinds of weird, wonderful things, which the doctors have fixed now. But you'll notice on this side, I have no problem at all. It goes straight down onto the foot. I don't need any support here. But there's a very good example of how we just adapt to what the body's doing and how it does it. So coming down into your position, either having a cushion, placing the hands, whatever, so that you can come forward and just be relaxed. Remember, buttocks stay on the mat in this position. We just come down. Maybe the forehead comes to the side of the heel. The arms are nice and relaxed. Toes relaxed. Fingers relaxed. And it feels like the hands are on the floor. And even if you're supporting with the arms right now, you can just look at your hands. The feeling of the floor against your hands. And for me, I can feel the contacts just at the wrist, then side of the thumbs, top of the fingers. There's also space between my hands and the floor. Space between the fingers and the floor, and the palms of the hands and the floor. And it's different from the right side to the left side. Again, allowing the breath to be completely natural. You might start to notice that the breath actually becomes softer, quieter, less effort. And this allows us to relax just that little bit more. So encouraging you now to just relax the shoulders just a little bit more. Maybe the neck has started to become stiff because the upper back has started to relax in the chest. So maybe just lifting the head, lengthening the neck, and then placing the head back onto the foot. If you're down to the foot, otherwise chin in towards the chest. And for me here, my forehead moved from my heel to now the center of the foot. It's not always that we have this amount of relaxation. It might be just a part of a millimeter with each breath. But we do eventually become aware of this constant progression and constant flow. And then we're gently going to come up out of the position. Good. We're now going to come to the knees in the center of the mat. And just sit. We can actually do it in this direction. So you face the front of the room, that's in the room. And you can face the long side of your mat if you need to adjust where the mat is. Then I'll just give you a couple of seconds to do that. And we're going to come to a position which is called shoelace. Now you're going to understand what that means in a minute, but if you can imagine a shoelace, then that's basically what we're going to eventually look like. All right. So again, in this position, it's not a position we've done yet during this time that we've had together, but we're going to start doing it now. Again, it's a position where we only do what we can do. All right, so just very important. We're just softening things up and just being more and more comfortable with everything. So we're going to place the left hand onto the floor. So you're going to sort of lean out onto the left hand. Make sure that the arm is straight, so you're supporting from the shoulder to the wrist. And then we're going to move the buttock, or the left buttock, to the outside of your left foot. So it just comes down to the floor. Now you'll notice now that the left hand is there just to stop you falling over. Now what we're going to do is going to take the right foot and put it to the left side of your body. And this is going to be completely unique to you, all right? But it's part of the shoelace. So eventually you'll get into a position where you're basically sitting on the floor between your feet, and you end up looking like a shoelace. Okay, so a little bit of humor in yoga is also a good thing to have. Now some of you might be sitting like this. That is fine, and it's exactly what you should be doing at this moment. Okay, so again, we don't push the body, we just come to a position that is comfortable. And eventually you'll get to a position where the toes are almost behind the body here. Then we're going to place the hands just in front of the feet. Now if your feet are here, then that's there. Okay, so you look at whichever side is furthest forward and you've just placed the hands in that position. All right, if the feet are a little bit further back, then you place the hands just in front of the feet, just a little further back. And here we're going to sit down into the pelvis. It's important really that what we're thinking about here is that the right buttock is going to come down onto the mat between the feet. And in the beginning, that often doesn't happen very much. Okay, so we're just being patient with the body here. We allow, again, the arms to be straight so they're supporting the body. So I want to encourage you to relax your back, allow the back to round so that your head is just sitting on the top of your shoulders. And here we can close the eyes. Now while I've been distracting you, the body's already started to relax, even if it's just a little bit. We're just patient with the body here. As you're breathing again, maybe just just repeating silently to yourself with each exhale, relax. Be conscious of the music in the room or the vibrations in the air that we perceive as sound. Again, without judgment, right or wrong. Gentle movement of the body as you breathe, expanding in and out from the space that surrounds you. I often experience this almost as if the space is breathing with me or encouraging the breath. Good. So we're going to gently release the position, and we're going to bring the right foot back to the right side of the body in both senses. We're going to come back up onto the knees in the center. Good. So before we go to the other side, I like to encourage people to actually feel what is actually happening in their body. So if you just place the hands on the knees, this position is called hero position. And we're not going to stay in it for the full 3 minutes. We're just going to experience what's actually happening in the body. So again, this body and mind awareness. So close the eyes and just feel any contrast between the right hip and the left. What are you experiencing? For me, on the right side, feels a little bit like it's sort of floating in some way. Can't really put my finger exactly on what it is. It just feels just a little bit more relaxed than the left. And then we open the eyes. Good, so we're going to come out with the right hand. So again, we sort of lean over and go down onto the right hand so we don't fall over. We then place the right buttock on the outside of the right foot. And now I'm going to bring the left foot to the right side of the body. And again here, the left side is not as flexible for me as the right. So I just bring my foot to a position where it's comfortable. I'm not overstressing the knee. Even if I know that a couple of years ago I sat with both feet here somewhere and down on in just lying forward on and all these sort of things, it's not really important. What's important is how does it feel right now? And you can either get frustrated with it or you can just accept it. And I can promise you that it's a lot more peaceful just to accept it. So again, I'm going to place my hand just in front of the foot, exactly where it should be, and then place the other in exactly parallel to it. I drop the head, relax the neck, and now thinking and breathing the left buttock down to the mat. Again, Relaxing the shoulders just a little bit more. Relax both ankles. Relax the pelvis, the chest and the upper back. It is not about strength, it is about support. The arms are supporting the body, and the body is again, as I said in the beginning, supported by the earth beneath you. Another thing that I say quite often in Yin Yoga classes is that, is it a myth that we need to keep completely still? It's like we put ourselves in a position and then we have to sort of sit there and suffer it. That is not doing yoga. That is having a war with your body, and that's not the same thing at all. So if you wish to, you can look at me right now. It's up to you. You can stay on the position and just focus on the breath and everything else, but otherwise, you know, if you're feeling extremely uncomfortable, you can just sort of move the foot forward, just relieving the knee or the pressure, and just basically sitting and just accepting exactly everything that is happening. Good, Marlin. First time, right? Marlin has her head on her knee. It's kind of beautiful to watch. Good. So we have approximately about 30 seconds left. You can start to rest the chest on the knee, Marlin. Yeah, so that, yeah, that's kind of beautiful. Good. So we gently release the position, coming out of the position. Now we're going to come down to the back. So we're just going to lie down onto the back. We do this in a way that is as comfortable as possible. So basically you're going to use the elbows to come down. Sorry, my bad. Make sure that you have a cushion or several cushions around you that you can reach. All right. So I'm going to come down to the mat here. And we're going to come into a spinal twist. So I want you to place cushions or the long cushion here, the bolster, along the side of the mat here, on the right side of the mat, just beside the mat, and basically having the top of the cushions or the top of this long cushion just sort of approximately about the hip height here. Now bring the feet together in the center, and we're going to place the left foot on the outside of the right knee, and then we're going to come up onto the right hip and the right shoulder so that the left knee comes all the way down to the cushion. And in this position, the right leg is going to be straight. And here we can use a cushion under the head. It helps. And we're going to place the right hand onto the left knee. What's important here is that we're not pushing the knee down to the floor or to the cushion, and eventually we'll not have the cushion at all. But right now we're just doing this. The arms resting on the floor, shoulders on the floor, and the hand is not pushing the knee, okay? Then we lie back with the body. And today I want to encourage you to bring the left arm out, straight out from the body. Now some of you might only get the arm to here. You're going to feel this stretch in the chest muscles here. and we relax. In the beginning, it can be quite nice to look to your right. This will relieve a lot of pressure. And as the spine relaxes, and we're looking at the soft part of the spine, all the way up from the base of the spine, all the way up to the back of your neck. And each part is just releasing just that little bit to get this rotation through the whole of the spine. And as we do this, and as we become more and more relaxed, you're going to find that the left shoulder comes closer and closer to the mat. Maybe your left hand is on the floor. And if this is too uncomfortable and your arm is up here and it's just like, well, can you stop talking, Jonathan, because it's not very comfortable? Place your left hand onto the side of the chest and just allow your elbow to hang down behind the body. This has the same effect of basically opening up the chest until we can have the arm out. And once we're in that position, then we can rotate the neck and eventually look to the left hand. I was doing this position a little bit earlier this afternoon, and as I took a deep breath, I got a nice sort of manipulation in the spine. It sort of went clonk, and after that it felt amazing. I also thought, that's nice, I won't have to go to the chiropractor tomorrow. Good. So just allowing everything. Maybe there is a clonk, maybe there isn't. It doesn't really matter. It's just to allow everything. Good. So I actually forgot to look at the time. All right. Okay. Good. Got about another 30 seconds again on this side. So remember in the beginning of the program I was saying sort of body-mind awareness. So it's really, the mind is full of thoughts often. And in my opinion, it's a lot of where the ego comes from. You know, we think we should be able to do that, or I shouldn't be able to do that, or you know, it's making judgments before you even are doing the positions. So it's interesting also that the ego can fool us. I'm not going to talk more because we're going to release the position, and I'll continue talking on the other side. So we can bring the arm back on the left. We come back to the center of the mat. So we're lifting the knee off the long cushion or the cushions beside you. Bring the lower back to the mat. You can leave the knees bent at the moment. You bring the cushion to the other side of the mat, or the left side of the mat. Good. You can straighten the legs. We're now going to place the right foot on the outside of the left knee. And we're going to come up onto the left hip and the left shoulder. So that the right knee now comes down to the cushion on the side here. I'm going to place my left hand on top of the knee. Again, elbow, upper arm and shoulder on the mat, just resting the hand onto the knee. Placing the head then on the cushion or on the mat, depends what's comfortable for you. And if you like, as I said before, in the beginning it can be more comfortable maybe to look out now to the left. And then we start to open up the shoulder on the right side. So some of you might be wondering sort of how long I've been doing the yoga after my accident. And I have not done any yoga for 18 months. In fact, the first probably 3 or 4 months I don't even remember them. It's kind of a weird, I've got a hole in my life somewhere there. So I was not physically capable of doing yoga. I had a broken shoulder and my knee was messed up, and I had a broken nose. I had a part of my skull was crushed. I had brain bleeds and all sorts of things. So there was not really any room for yoga. So it's really only in the last 4 weeks that I've started doing the yoga again. And it's really during this time where I suddenly got this massive calling to actually share what I know with as many people as possible. Because yoga has given me a lot of happiness and freedom in my life, and I want to give that to other people. Yoga lessons are generally quite expensive, and it's sort of almost in the Western world anyway, a sort of luxury item. I don't think it should be. I think it should be available for everybody. And yeah, it has a deep meaning for me anyway. So we're still nice and relaxed. We have this nice stretch in the shoulder. You're going to find that the right shoulder comes closer and closer to the mat. And just become completely aware that actually nothing's important. It's a bit of a weird way of thinking about this, but what we're doing in yoga is basically nothing. We're doing as little as possible, thinking as little as possible, and just allowing everything to be exactly as it is. So we don't have to think or do or be anywhere. It's just allowing everything. So coming back to what I was saying on the other side, the only part that I could work on when I was in that state was the mind. So I worked diligently with breathing and conscious of everything that was happening in my body, even if I was physically very damaged. It was a very interesting process. And all I had to do was watch. Good. Come back to the center of the mat. Nothing more serious than that. And here again we can return to the lower back to the mat. Maybe you just want to move your hips just a little bit so you can feel that the lower back comes completely in contact with the mat. And we're going to come to the last two positions. We straighten the legs. You come into banana position again. And we're going to move the right shoulder out to the right side of the mat. And possibly the head as well. Good, Molly. Right foot, corner of the mat. Left ankle over the right. Relax and bring both hands behind the head. Looking at the top of the room, we have this lovely stretch on the left side, sort of lower part of the stomach into the hip, the pelvis, maybe lower part of the back as well, a slight compression on the right. Relax the ankles just a little bit more on the knees and shoulders. Allow the arms to be heavy. Feel the weight of your head in your hands. The difference in your hands when the head is pressing the hands to the floor. As we calm the mind starts to notice things that it wouldn't normally have time to think about or experience. They're there all the time, it's just that we don't have the time to experience them, or this is what we think. So the mind sort of takes a decision for you that you don't need to experience these because they're not important. But they are. For example, now we're sort of lying in this position. Be conscious of the air against your skin. The temperature difference between the air and your skin, where the two touch each other. At the moment I'm feeling, for example, the ventilation in this room. It sort of comes over my toes and my feet and then eventually comes up to my forehead and my elbows. And this is constantly happening the entire time. It's just unless I'm aware of it, I don't experience it. And it's really it's quite beautiful. A lot of people say sort of, well, what's the point of that, John? And why is it so important? And the wonderful thing about it is it's not important at all. But somehow, because it's slightly different, the brain or the mind actually relaxes and expands its capabilities of taking in feelings, emotions, senses, smells, touch, sound. Everything becomes more intense and more perfect in some way. I had a student last week who commented on, after the yoga practice, she went out for a walk and suddenly the trees had a different color. And I thought that was a very beautiful thing to share with me. So I thought I'd share that with you today. Good, we're going to release this position. We bring the left foot to the center of the mat. Right foot becomes beside the left foot. And we release the hands from under the head. Now, each time we do this, allow the head to just slide off the hands, or to try and slide the hands away from under your head until you're completely relaxing the arms and the heads on the mat. Then we move the whole of the body to the center of the mat. Good. Left shoulder, left side of the mat, or head. Look down the left side of the mat, bring the heel to the corner of the mat and cross now the right ankle over the left. Allow the right buttock come down to the mat. And then we place the hands behind the head. Again, rest the head into your hands. Make sure the fingers are relaxed and they're not holding your head in any particular way. Just be aware that they're completely relaxed. The weight of the head and the hands. A gentle expansion on the right side now. What you're feeling is unique to you. Nobody else is feeling what you are feeling. They might be feeling something, but it will be different from you. Because they are not you. You are you. Again, if you wish to, and whenever you wish to really, you can take this deep, long inhale, feel the body raises away from the floor, and then exhale slowly and just allow the body to sink even deeper into the floor, almost becoming fluid and melting into the floor. The breathing, the room, the air. Maybe the sensations of your clothes against your body, the mat beneath the body, or the floor you're lying on, or even the ground, the sand, the earth, maybe some grass. Just experiencing this throughout the whole body. Just doing absolutely nothing. and experiencing so much. Conscious awareness of the body and mind. Good, of course. We now release this position and uncross the right ankle from the left. Foot comes to the center of the mat. Figuring the left foot over to the right. Release the hands again. Allow the head to slide off your hands. Back to the floor. Notice how the arms, the hands relax. And then bring yourself back to the center of the mat. Good. Last position for today. You can either take books, or in this particular case, I'm going to take this block, yoga block. They don't actually cost very much. You can basically buy them almost anywhere, and you can do the same thing with books or a cushion or something. What's important here is where we're going to put this. So in the beginning, if you have a block, I'd encourage you to have the thinnest part up, away from the floor. Of course, we can start to have them in this direction, and eventually we have them like this. But at the moment, like this, or even just a cushion. And what we're going to do is bring both feet into the buttocks, as if we're going to do bridge position. But we're not going to do that. We're going to do basically half bridge. And half bridge in Yin is on the block, all right? So there are many different sort of names for all of these positions, but I like to think of it as a half bridge because I'm actually sort of giving support. So I'm going to lift the hips away from the mat, and I'm going to place the block at the base of the spine. What I mean by that is the triangular bone at the bottom of your spine, so not into the lower back here, because that's not particularly good for the back. So we want to have this support, or basically at the pelvis, so that we can support the body here. Then we move or slide the left heel out to the left corner of the mat. We slide the right heel up to the right corner of the mat. And then again, we're going to place the hands under the head. So the head's resting into the hands. Again, make sure the fingers are not holding your head in any particular way. And here I'd want to encourage you to close the eyes. Just watch the breath. If you find yourself controlling the breath, just simply release it and watch. Like I said in the beginning, as if the body was sleeping. You don't have to think, breathe in, breathe out, or control it in any way. Just watch. And as we watch, of course, as we breathe, the body naturally starts to relax. So I want you to feel how the hips and the pelvis are sort of opening towards the top of the room, almost like a flower opening to the sun. It is effortless. It's almost in slow motion. And for these last few seconds, just relaxing the shoulders just that little bit more, the arms, the hands, the wrists, the knees, the ankles, even the toes, your eyes. Just these last few seconds, watching the breath, watching your body, and watching your mind. Good. For the last time today, we take the hands out from under the head. So we just slide the hands out, allow the head to come back to the floor. You can bring the arms along the side of the body if you wish. You bring both feet into the buttocks again. And we just gently lift the pelvis away from the block or the book or a cushion. You take it out to the side. And then consciously place the lower back onto the mat. And then sliding the left heel out to the corner of the mat, right heel. We come into Savasana. We make sure that the body is completely comfortable. If you'd like, you can have a cushion under the back of the head here. We move the arms away from the side of the body, so the palms, the hands up towards the top of the room. Make sure you're completely relaxed and that both shoulder blades are on the floor. If you have any discomfort in the lower back, you can place cushions under the knees, for example. The long cushion is very useful for this. And just making sure that you're completely comfortable. We're going to finish today with a relatively short meditation. So just simply aware of the body lying on the floor, the weight of the body. Again, this deep connection to the earth beneath you. And how that support comes up to your body. The contact from the back of the heels and each point of contact through the whole body to the back of your head. The space between the body and the floor. Back of the ankles, back of the knees. Again, this will be unique to you. Almost as if the space is holding you up away from the floor and you can completely relax. Almost like lying in a hammock. Everything completely relaxed. I want you to imagine now that you're standing in the center of a forest. You're completely alone, and you're standing at a clearing in the forest where there's a beautiful, still lake. The surface is like a mirror as it reflects the sky above you and the small white clouds. There are trees around this small lake, and they're reflected in the lake. A perfect image. Almost as if it's difficult to see what is up and what is down. You notice the reflection of yourself in the water in front of you. The sounds from the trees, the leaves and the birds. You see that the water is crystal clear. You can see all the way to the bottom of the lake, the sand, maybe some plants, stones. feel utterly at peace and one with nature, understanding that you are not standing looking at this place. You are part of this beauty. Then you hear something in the leaves of the trees, just a distance away, and then a breeze comes out over the lake, disturbing the center of the lake first and then spreading out to the edges. This breeze becomes a wind. The surface starts to break like waves, and the entire reflection disappears, as if it was never there. You can't see yourself in the lake, and you can't see the bottom of the lake. You marvel at this change almost instantaneously. And then, as if it had never happened, the wind stops. The lake returns to a perfect mirror, reflecting the blue sky above you and the small white clouds. The trees, you see yourself, and you see down into the water again. You notice that nothing has changed. The same plants, same sand, same stone. And in this instant, you understand that this is a simple reflection of life. We are peaceful, things come, they disturb us to the point where we lose sight of ourselves. But as soon as these things disappear, we return to balance. Your balance, your mind, stillness, and the beauty. Coming back to the body and the silence that surrounds you. The physical form of the body lying on the floor. The support, the breath, the movement of the body. The stillness of the breath. And the stillness of your mind. And gently allowing yourself to drift deeper and deeper and deeper into this conscious awareness of body, mind, and soul. And when you are ready, slowly and gently, again coming back to the room or the space that you are in. Maybe gently moving the fingers and the toes, waking the body. Bring it back to the physical awareness. Maybe opening the eyes and just looking around the room with a soft focus in the eyes. Still conscious of your connection to the earth beneath you and the space that surrounds you. And then gently coming up to a sitting position so that we may finish together. Good. I'd like to encourage you to bring the hands down in front of your heart. You can just gently rest the thumbs against the chest. And I'm just going to thank everybody that's been with us this evening and the support that we felt from each other. So we take a deep breath. We exhale forward just to one position that you are comfortable with. Inhaling as we come up and exhaling the hands gently to the knees and relaxing the shoulders. Maybe closing the eyes and just feeling maybe a subtle change in the body and the mind. Namaste. Have a beautiful rest of the day. If the evening, then please sleep well. And if it's in the morning, then have a beautiful day and then sleep well later during the day. I will see you again. So, bye-bye for now and thank you everybody.